Fore! All right. Ball out! Ball out! Fore!
What do we have? So I'm the Axeman. That's my name purely because
Mr. Sandman.
that's purely tied to the way I hack at the ground.
Chop.
That was
Chop at the ball.
It was my steep swing, wasn't it? It was my steep swing.
Yeah, steep angle of attack.
Yeah, steep
I think
angle.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Ed is what is
Captain
Boomerang
Hook.
Boy? Captain Hook.
Captain Hook, yeah.
I just can't fucking hit it straight. That's the long and the short of it.
It's not even a hook. It's a dive. It's like a
It's a boomerang.
Oh,
It's a
we're talking
boomerang,
left
yeah.
and stays left.
And comes back round, like...
You should hear
It's like a spot a roundabout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
You
comes
should hear
back.
Ben's reaction every single time that he's watching Ed from behind, and he goes, "Oh, that's amazing," and then his voice just goes, "Oh no!" But he does that
Every
about
time.
15 times around.
Every time you just think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time it's clean, it's just...
Bit second, it's great, but yeah.
What's Ben's name? The Butcher, isn't it?
Oh, the butcher.
Yeah, love a good
Yeah.
shank.
I hope that's to do with the golf.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that also came from pursuing someone. I was in a no, it doesn't really. Would be bad.
Yeah, yours sounds like a better night than mine.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to like Dexter.
No, Ben was in an abattoir.
Yeah.
Nah, that's what it was.
Story of my
The
life.
guy from Fresh Meat, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matty,
there you
what was yours? Matty, what was
I
yours?
was Sandy Lee, because like originally when we started, it was just bunker after bunker, and I thought that had gone until the weekend.
go. Beach
So
towel
maybe
and
it's
bucket
back.
spade,
I don't
is it?
know.
I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I think Fairway Lee was pretty good, but not anymore.
No, that's too good for you. You need like a character assassination.
I don't think we've come up with one yet. Maybe when we all play, we all get together and play, you guys can come up with something.
Oh well, making names up for anyone that appears on our channel is our special. To be fair.
Oh yeah.
We've got some good ones. In fact, I'm interested to know what your favourite ones are. If you can remember them. This is you getting put on the spot. How well do you do your research?
I can't remember.
All right.
Go quickly.
No. It's an older fat guy which you've sorry.
I hope this is my dad.
This is going to be Ozzy's dad. This is going to be Ozzy's dad.
The bald eagle. That's super.
Oh, that's unreal.
In fact, do you want me to get him on? Bald eagle.
That's brilliant.
Oh yeah, he was quite recent.
Actually, the older fat guy, that's the bald eagle.
That is unreal.
Oh, that's a fella.
I can only apologise. Let's just say he's got.
No, please. He's been called a lot worse. Don't worry about it.
He's got presence on the tee. Let's just say that he looks.
He's got feet. He's got feet that don't stop moving. Strictly dancing, they're coming his way. Like.
Actually, that's like you, Ed.
Yeah, it is like Ed, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
There's,
sorry for abusing your father. I didn't mean to do that, but
it's really all right. But yeah, there are other some names like Touchy Feely McNeely's one of my favourite.
Oh yeah.
There's Wee Cock Doc, who was raging about it when I told him that's what he was going to be called on the channel. We've got the Beefcake. That's a fan's favourite. He still thinks that's a slag every time that it's said. That we all know a Beefcake's a gorgeous man. Wesbian, yeah, it's another one.
Wesbian.
I'm not sure. I want to
We've
be
actually
named
recently
now.
got a channel first, where a viewer has commented. I don't know if they know this yet, but we're going to change one of the names for Harry. So we called him Harry Haircut to start with. He came on the channel yesterday or 2 days ago, and I believe he's now going to be called Harry Potter.
Yeah.
There's another one.
love that. Well, again, I've abused your family. I didn't mean that. But
I mean, I'll get my mum and you can slag her off as well if you want.
we'll move on. We'll segue without delving too much into assassinations. You boys have probably spoken to it with a few golf pros. You've probably seen it out on the course yourselves. Is golf in the pandemic and what's happened to golf during the pandemic, and from your eyes, from what we've seen, is a huge uptake in the sport again, particularly at a youth level, and what your thoughts on that is, basically.
Take it away, Scotty.
I love how you put me in first, and then you're just gonna. I just know you're setting me up to fail. Well, so my course that I play at Codder, we've had like 250 new members, since lockdown started. So, like, it's unbelievable. Like, we've got 2 courses, and they are full all week, like the entire way through. You struggle. The worst bit is struggling to get a tea time. But see, to be fair, like the club, it's only going to help the clubs out because all that money is already getting reinvested in like greenkeeping staff. They're doing the clubhouse up. Like, hopefully, like those extra 250 members will actually stay for years to come. But it's just like you don't. The only bad thing is you don't really know where they've come from. If they've come from another club just for a good deal, then that's okay. But they'll probably leave again. But if it's completely new people playing golf, then that's great. Like I've seen it. You've probably seen it as well. Loads of my mates back home, they've all started playing because it was like one of the only things you could do, wasn't it? So people were just like, we'll play golf, and then they got into it.
There's either that or tennis, and I know which one I prefer.
I don't.
Oh, don't start. All these 3 boys here, except me, are all tennis nuts, right?
He's all big tennis
it's Matt's
fans.
profession. It could have been Ed and Joe's probably. It's not now. I'm
Really?
not a clue. And all I ever hear on the golf course is, just think of it like your forehand, or think of it like your backhand. It's like, come on, use another analogy.
Bit of transferable tennis coaching there.
Yeah, well, it's just how we relate, I guess. It doesn't help.
Exactly. It is in principle. He's right. Like the physics is the same. What you're doing.
It's similar, yeah.
But yeah, like the golf's only going to hopefully grow because of this. Everyone, especially like around our age, so we're 25, so around our age, it's been like a huge number of people have taken it up. But it's just like getting them to stay now, which who knows whether it'll happen. Like once everyone can get back to football and everything else, whether they'll go back to that or whether they'll stay at golf. But hopefully it'll be a good thing.
I think in the short term,
Go
on. In the short term, there's such a massive uptake, but golf's probably that one sport that you can't just keep going because it's that frustrating when you just can't get it. Like eventually it will click, but it's going to take possibly years for it to all really click.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to do it.
Yeah, like everyone wants to play it, but everyone wants to play it quickly, and like they want to be doing what folk do on the TV or doing what Limpress does at Calder Golf Club within weeks, and it just never happens. Which is probably the only bad thing. You're going to see like spikes and then a big fall off when people can go and do exactly what they want to do again. I think there needs to be like something in play from the clubs, like an incentive, almost like an incremental rise in fees for like, you got this deal this year, but it's gonna continue to struggle for years to come.
Yeah.
So if you just increase the fee up to the normal fee or slightly more than what the normal fee would be with inflation, for like a 5-year step deal, you're going to keep more folk because it's not that much more money than it was previously. If you just throw it back out to the old price it was and say, right, now you've got a full season, come and play, you're going to get less folk to come back. Mm-hmm. So I think you need to look hard at how they do that and just keep it incentivized for folk.
Yeah, we said that before. I think we play in places. We've just had a thought. Imagine if they charge this much for this, or we're all going. We do it, and we are the prime target is fairly young golfers. That's who they want, really. We're going. Imagine if they just did this, we definitely join. Or if they just did this, there's all these little things that I'm sure they could do that are probably not that hard. That would just grab in people and keep them there. Because we're obviously Matt and I are members already at places, but we're not members there because we're devout patrons who want to live and die there. We just it works. It's reasonable. It's good courses. Yeah. We're not, but we're all 4 of us are susceptible to that kind of marketing and those kind of deals. And there's definitely ways to get people in, like you say, get people to stay. Even things like coaching sessions. Imagine just throwing in a free coaching session every 2 months or something, And then people will get better and they'll start to enjoy it, because the problem is people start, they hack around a golf course, they have a few lucky shots, and then they start realizing that it's not very attainable, and then they'll, like you say, they'll walk away then. But if they could get a not even maybe monetary, but a physical development kind of thing to keep people staying would be really good. Because people get bored. I think we've all done that as well. We've all gone through phases. I've played my whole life, but I've gone through phases of going a month, playing once a month or once every 2 months, and being like, all right, to now where I play 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm obsessed.
You can't get enough.
And you need something to keep you ticking over and keep you doing that. So
there's like the other side of it as well. Like, golf's quite, I don't know, it's seen as like quite an exclusive sport, isn't it? So especially for all these people that are joining, right, they might not have like complete golf gear, outfits, whatever. Like, golf clubs are quite stuck in the past with that kind of thing. I know to some people it's quite a big thing, but even if you had like, I don't know, even if you had like dress down days, like where you could wear like jeans or something on the course, like is it really that big a deal wearing jeans instead of a pair of golfing trousers? Like, to me, if it gets more people playing golf, then what does it really, like, why does it matter if they're wearing jeans? Like, I can understand, see if it was like a competition day or a big day for the club or whatever, then have your normal like golf attire. But on like a Friday afternoon or something, you're trying to get under 30s into the game, you don't want to be seen as this big snobby sport that like
that'll change though. I think that'll start to change, because you think all the chairman, club secretaries, all the people that are running the courses these days are in that generation where that is quite important. I think they do look down a lot of the time, unfortunately, on younger golfers and younger players. Maybe I've never experienced it personally so much, but I think it does happen. But as you start to get slightly younger people taking those positions of like responsibility at clubs and making decisions, I think that might change. And you see it even on, like, I think it goes with trends. Even on, like, if you look at the tour, I mean, the trends in clothing and what people's styles, things like that, it's all changing. It's all becoming a bit more modern, and I think that will filter down and start to reflect in clubs as well and courses. But I think that's the best way to put it, is a little bit stuck in the past with things like that. But I think that will gradually start to dissipate and become a bit more lenient and modern.
You kind of see it at the start already. Like, for example, practice rounds on tour now you can wear shorts, which was, I think, still ridiculous. You can't wear shorts when they're playing in such heat. But like, they're allowed to wear that in practice rounds now, and they've got Nike have brought out apparel with no collar on it, which to a lot of clubs is a big hoo-ha. But to be honest, at the end of the day, as long as you're paying a membership to that club, I think you should be able to go out wearing what you're comfortable wearing. Because, I mean, you're not representing the club at any point. You're representing your character by what you wear on a golf course. And I think that's the only real important thing. To an extent, there is some limitations to what you can go and wear on the golf course, but within reason,
just respect. It's just respect. That's all it's about. You can know it. You're supposed to wear what you want, but if you're going to play loudly, aggressively, abuse the course, verbally abuse other members and hack about, then that's fair enough. You don't need people like that, irrespective of whether they're paying or not. But if you've got enough respect to wear something sensible, play sensibly, and just have a bit of common sense, then that's all you need.
Most people, and like pretty much every single person, like if they're wearing jeans, they're still gonna have like a sense of respect. Just because they put on jeans or even trackies or whatever, doesn't mean they're gonna turn into like fucking smacking people with clubs and all that. Like, you'll get obviously folk joining that don't have that kind of respect, and they'll go out anyway. But
that's such a minority.
Breaking down that barrier to get into golf is like something that I think we could do a lot better. But as you say, it'll definitely like work its way out when younger people get into positions.
I never shed a tear there, actually, Scotty, listening to you speak so emotionally.
Thanks, guys.
Me too. Me too as well, because again, you've set me up for another nice segue into what you boys think is the future of golf, and I'll bring
this is seamless.
I'll bring in.
But honestly, see if we knew the script, this would be perfect.
Unreal.
So with Bryson DeChambeau's absolute smash and dash approach on the weekend, although he, as Ben Daly rightly pointed out, he didn't have the longest average drive, did he, Ben?
Interesting stats.
And great knowledge.
We'll go straight to the Bear for his take on DeChambeau and/or what he feels like the future of golf is.
Well, I would like to just quickly make a point on, you said the smash and dash style of golf. That is very similar to Scott at the weekend, but unfortunately it doesn't really involve the golf.
It's tough out there. It's tough out there. You've got to make what you can of it.
So yeah, in terms of that style of golf, like, did you see? If you seen what Rory McIlroy said about it, he's taken like full respect to it. He's taken advantage of what he's got and what he can do with the golf game as it is now. Does he agree with it? He doesn't know, but he's maximised everything he can get out of golf to the way that he found it best to do. Talking about like his perception of reality being different between rounds really pisses me off, because no one could be that up themselves to think that this is what's really affecting them on a golf course.
Yeah.
Granted, he can smash a golf ball, but like he can do it consistently as well, which is the big thing he added. Like, if you can drive 320 yards on the fly, you're going to tear most golf courses apart. And it's how you then take that back out of the game without completely overhauling all these golf courses that have been designed back in the early 1900s and whatnot. Like, you've added as much length as you can squeeze out of the real estate they have right now. And you're going to start ruining the tradition in these courses if you start like going all the way back or redesigning. So it's then you start doing all sorts of other things that people are not going to agree with, like limiting golf balls, limiting driver speeds and whatnot. But at the moment, Bryson DeChambeau is probably, you would say he's probably the best form player in the year, apart from Dustin Johnson, because he brought it when it mattered. Apart from that, Bryson's been top 5s, top 10s all year round, which respect to him. But you won't get much more than respect to him from me about the style of golf that he plays.
Yeah, that's it's interesting you say that about Rory, because I watched that today, his interview, and I genuinely think he looked a bit rattled by it, because I think he felt a bit helpless in that Rory's a long player, you know, that's partly what he's known for, but he does everything else properly, and he does it, and he plays courses how they should be played, I think, and I think he does it attractively. I don't think watching Bryson DeChambeau play golf is much fun, because you kind of cringing at it because it looks so uncomfortable, but then it works out, and he puts so much science behind it. I think it does take away, without sounding like too cliche or whatever, it is quite a beautiful game, and I think when you start doing that to it, maybe it becomes less so.
May I rebuttal you there, Ben?
Yeah.
May I rebuttal you there? Because I think one of the big draws for me on the weekend watching was to watch Bryson absolutely tank it down the down the fairway. Like,
but not just that. He has...
the other day, if you look at the, I was reading some stats about it, and he was 6th or 7th in driving distance. So it wasn't his driving that won him in the US Open. It was his short game. But so it's a complete facade, really, because he's not really doing that to win. I think even on his last round, where he was still 3 under, I think, on the final day. Matthew Wolff was out driving him most of the day, you know, but nobody noticed that because he doesn't have this big like show of long driver hitting the ball really far, all this sciencey stuff. I don't think it's quite as real, or I don't think it's quite as it seems almost. I think he's actually probably playing a bit more normally. He just looks different, and there's all this hype about it. So I don't know if that's really the case.
Matty, what were you going to say?
Well, like, he gets slated a bit on his putting, I think, sometimes. But actually, when you saw his putting on the last day, he had such good feel. So I don't actually just think it's, don't get me wrong, him driving does help. It's not attractive, really. But actually, when you watch him putt, like, I think there's quite a lot of feel to it. Like Ben said, actually, if he's not driving as far as the others sometimes, which is what Ben's just said, like, he must be making up for it elsewhere, and I feel like that's where it was. Like, there was such good feel. So
he came out and said, like, the consistency with proximity of the hole with his irons is where he struggles. So he's completely took that out of the game by just hitting wedges and drivers. Yeah. So he saw his weakness, and he's got rid of it, basically. He's like eliminated his weakness, which every golfer is trying to do.
Yeah.
Whether it be whichever way they try and do it. Like, I don't want to slice one in the bushes, and I will do whatever I can to not do that. If that means I'm hitting like an iron off the tee, will I do it as much as what Bryson smashes a driver off the tee? Probably not. But you do what you can.
You do what you can to win at the end of the day, and he took the win. So
Yeah, you got to think.
I rate him. This is like probably an unpopular opinion. I actually rate him. Like, the amount of time he puts into his golf game is unbelievable. Like, he's the first person that's ever looked at golf in this way. And like, if you break it down, this is so geeky what I'm going to say. If you break it down, then like, it is just all about maths and physics. Like, it's what it is. So if he can make himself, as he's probably hating this, if he can eliminate as many variables out of his golf game as possible, use the exact same swing or whatever of every club, like, he's making the game easier for himself in a way. Like, he's taking away loads of different things, and I think it's cool. Like, it's a completely new way of thinking about it. But the one thing that I just like can't get on board with is just how slow he is. Like, I think if he took that out his game, I'd like be sound. But yeah, I think it's cool anyway. I don't know what Azzy's going to say to that. Azzy's probably going to hit the roof.
You are on the train there to getting a first-class degree in golf from the University of No One Gives a Fuck. But you saved it with saying how slow he is. Like 5.5 hours to knock a ball around the course. Like, we played 100 holes in probably a similar time to he managed to play that US Open round.
Aye, but you've got to say, like, you surely can't say anything about like the work ethic and the way he's looking at the game is completely different.
Yeah, the work that he puts in to being a full-time bellend is impressive. You have to give him that. No, but you're right. Like, the work, the determination, and the drive to get to where he has been, like that you have to respect. Like, not a lot of folk can do that. Like, that's getting out of bed every morning, doing exactly what you know you need to do that day without fail, and that anyone would want to do. Like, fair enough, but it's just the way he goes about it. Like, be sounder about it. And
I agree there.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
In his post-match, he was saying,
chocolate milk. I've got no time for.
he waited he made everyone wait 10 minutes so he could get one bottle sponsor to sit on the table, and he was. I think they said, someone said, "Oh, you're going to celebrate," and he was like, he was so precocious. He said, I don't drink. It's just not my style." And it's like, come on, have a beer, shut up, enjoy.
Pump on in the gym. All right, mate, we get it. You left.
You've just won £10 million. Just relax.
That's fair, but I think that's what just gets him to where he is, isn't it? Like he
sheer hard work.
There's
Everyone's
there's I mean, he doesn't care what people think about him, which, like, to an extent is good, but yeah, I agree with you. It's like, if he was a bit more sound, like, people would be a lot more on board with it. But then
I really thought you were going to say you empathise with him, that nobody gets the way you go about things.
No. I'm not comparing myself to Bryson DeChambeau in any sense.
I really want to hear it.
No, I'm not.
Just for the podcast.
No, come on. I'm saying if he was more sound, would he be doing what he's doing? Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's a winner. You're right. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a major winner. Woohoo!
I've
got a poster of him on the wall.
Can I just ask, like, probably an unpopular question then? So, if you compare DeChambeau to what he's been doing now, right? So he's changing the way that he perceives golf and the way he does it. Isn't that what every sportsman does? Agreed. If he wasn't so much of a dick, then and it wasn't so much of a twat. But like, if he was less of a twat, would it not be like just revolutionising the game? So like every tennis player, for example, will run around there. They're coming out again.
Let me get my racket out.
So who's a prime example? Me. I run around my backhand like no tomorrow because it's rubbish. So I will do everything I can, and other players will do the exact same thing on tour. You look at someone like Isner. So it's basically John Isner in the golf, right? So
yeah,
you're not right.
I was saying that.
And then comes to the net 95% of the time. That's all he does. He can't hit a forehand or a backhand to save his life.
Yeah, but you don't have to be 6'10" to do
I
that.
don't know.
Just to point out.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a golf.
No.
This is a golf podcast.
No.
Let's rein it in.
Sorry.
Well,
One
if
of the
DeChambeau
favourites to
smashed an ace at the US Open, would you be delighted to see it?
Well, 'cause it happens all the time.
The dream come true.
Yeah, but that's the point. That you've got to do what works for you, because obviously Matthew Wolff, who was obviously second in the US, it's worth mentioning this, was second in the US Open, completely different style to Bryson, but outdrove him. Okay, fine, he was 6 shots short, but he was the next best thing. And in his post-match, he said that he slept all summer and didn't really play much golf. So they're the polar opposites, and essentially they've come out with a very similar outcome. So you've got to do what works, I guess. If that's going to fuel him and get him going, then.
But did he win?
Matt Wolff is a breath of fresh air to golf, I think. But then you could also say that he's not, if you disagree with my viewpoint on DeChambeau, I suppose, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know though, do you? Like, if he'd worked as hard as Bryson DeChambeau all summer, would he have then went out and shot 8 under in the US Open? You never know. Like, it's just, it is what it is, isn't it? Like,
that's probably the one thing about golf. Like, the world number one always is the favourite to win these competitions, but is never going to consistently like dominate. Apart from there's one man that's ever done it, and it was Tiger Woods, just revolutionised golf, and then eventually golf caught up with what Tiger Woods did, and now we're kind of getting to that point again, where somebody's going to do something to dominate. Like, we all thought it was going to be like Rory McIlroy when he goes on to win like 4 majors in whatever time period it was. You all think, right, he's going to kick on and dominate golf, but no one's ever grasped that number one spot and said, right, I'm here to stay. Like, you look at Luke Donald not so long ago was world number one. Lee Westwood has been, and consistently is one of the best players on tour. Tee to green has been world number one. Like, these are all names that now, like, nobody even, you don't see much of Luke Donald now. Like, Lee Westwood plays and he ranks very well in tournaments, but you don't see much of him on the TV because he's not playing at that level that these guys are now.
But his golf isn't. There's nothing special about it in the sense that it doesn't make good TV, because nobody. I think we could all watch it and appreciate it, and I'd happily sit and watch 4 hours of Lee Westwood playing golf. But
absolutely.
But for the television, it needs to be Bryson because he's good to watch. Or he's different to watch. It needs to be Tiger because he's a name. All these characters, you know. And that's like, I think he was top 10, wasn't he, Lee Westwood? I think this last week. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's what people want to see, and it's a huge difference. A huge difference between people, which is good. I think that keeps it interesting. It'd be crap if everyone was exactly the same. Can you imagine?
Everyone's different.
We play around. Sorry, Matt, go on.
No, I was just saying, but that's the thing. Like, you wouldn't turn on the TV and watch it if it was the same people doing the same thing every day. Like, I mean, you do turn on the TV to see Bryson driving a bomb, don't you? Really, because it is. I mean, for how long for? Who knows? But at the moment, that's why people are just wanting to see it.
And that's half the reason why we come play golf. If all 4 of us, when we go play around, were exactly the same, it would be so shit because we all know what was going to happen and we'd have nothing to compare against or laugh about. But because we're all completely different in the way we play golf, and I'm sure it's the same for you boys when you guys go play, you've all got different techniques and you all think entirely differently. We'd all stand over the same shot and do something different. Yeah. And that's what keeps it fun. And that's what produces the content which people can laugh at on the internet as well. So I think it all ties in, doesn't it? And you need to have that individuality, I suppose. So,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that is a very good place to kind of draw this podcast to a close, or towards the end. Boys, we'll have a chit chat after this. I'll stop recording. We'll go on. But do you boys want to shout out your socials and or your t-shirts and say what's going on, and we'll try and point everyone to your direction in the podcast details and whatnot.
All six people that watch, will get them to come and follow you.
Get them on board. I'll tell you somebody that will be desperate to watch. That'll be my old man. His ears will be burning.
It's Joe Smitherman. His address is 1.
I'll make sure that your PO box for that fan mail gets all them letters of complaint. Ofcom on to you. Don't worry about it, but yeah, let's go for the social, Scott. This is your side of business.
Aye, I don't know how I get all the serious stuff and you just get to rip into me, but I don't know how we came to don't know how we came to that agreement.
That's what we do with Joe. Joe knows what we just make a tit of ourselves, and Joe's there to catch it all.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
That's a talent.
the thing is, I make a tit of myself. He like tells me what to do, and I'll make a tit of myself as well. Like, I don't know how I've got
I'm like a
myself into
master
this position.
puppeteer. I just sit and pull the limp wrist strings all day, and then you do it like, Scott, go pour a carton of milk over your head. It would be funny, and you've done it, and before you know it, comes our way.
Yeah. So socials. ASSL Golf on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, we've got one video coming out every Monday on our YouTube. Mainly me versus Azzy, but we're going to start spicing things up in the coming weeks. Bit of foot golf in there, a few different challenges and stuff like that. The TikToks, like, is what it is. Every week, every day essentially. Sorry, come and see us make a tit of ourselves, especially me. And yeah, thanks for having us on the podcast as well, guys.
Yeah,
thank you.
We have got some big things planned. That we've got the Sunday series. I don't know if you've noticed that we do a Sunday series where we try and collab with as many people as we can across the whole platform. And I'm sure you boys will get your go against limp wrist at some point for that. But for that, we've recently got a trial sponsor on board for that. So my Bunker Mentality, that's our T-shirt right there. Should we go and give them a look?
Love it.
No, that's right. Who's your caddy? That's the bear.
That's good. I like that.
So yeah, they've come on board for that one. Big thanks to them for sending us out some stuff, and hopefully that goes well. We've got some exciting stuff coming on YouTube. So like tomorrow at Trump Aberdeen, we're playing with Seb on Golf from YouTube.
Oh, fantastic.
I mentioned that to the boys before. I said he put something out about playing around there. So that'd be awesome, guys.
Yeah. So he's invited us to come play with him tomorrow, which is massive for us. Like, just be able to pick his brain about what to do in trying to get the market like we're into. Like, that market is unsaturated, we think, and we'd like to fill a bit of that gap, which I'm sure you boys would like to as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
So yeah, stay tuned for all that exciting stuff, guys, and more.
Well, fantastic. Well, I think that's a great place to close and say thank you, boys, for coming on. That was fantastic, and we look forward to hearing from you soon in all your adventures, and I'm sure you'll be back on here, and it'll be good to collab in the future as well. So
when we hit 100k, we'll pay you guys a good sum to come on. Be good.
Great stuff.
Right. Can we negotiate figures now? Actually,
we'll talk about them. But our people will talk to your people, and you know.
We've thoroughly enjoyed our time on the podcast, guys, and we are sure that it'll only go from strength to strength with Force out guys and limp wrist and myself on the podcast.